Behind every product we use, there is a distance that has been traveled. There are stories of communities, lands, and processes that often exist beyond the scope of our awareness. Could knowing the story behind our stuff change our relationship to what we use? Could it change our relationship to what we make, what we value? Hi, my name's Cassie Meador. I'm a choreographer and the artistic director of Dance Exchange. This spring, I'm setting out on a 500-mile walk from my home here in Washington, D.C., to try to understand the story behind the resources that make up my way of life. This journey really began a few years back when I had the opportunity to co-teach a course on tropical ecology with a group of artists and scientists in Guyana, South America. This was my first experience living outdoors for any extended time. I was surprised at how little I ultimately needed to feel comfortable in these forests. If I needed water, it came from the river or sky. If I needed light, it came from the sun, stars, or from what I could carry. When I could put my hands on these sources, I saw clearly for the first time the relationship between what I use and what nature provides. As a maker, I wanted to know more about what and how we make from our surroundings. As a dancer, I became curious about the distance that often separates our bodies from these sources. Following this trip, I felt really unsettled in my own home. I realized how little I knew about the resources that make up my daily life. So I started to research the story behind some of the things I use day to day. Water, produce, electricity. I was shocked to find out that a good portion of the power feeding my home was being sourced through mountaintop removal. I began to wonder if I could physically travel the distance on foot to the sources of my home's electrical power. That wonder quickly turned to a need. But why not just research about energy grids and strip mining sites online? The thing is that we're talking about power. The literal power we use in our homes and the power we have with each decision we make about what we use and our relationship to how it is made. It seems important to use the power and resource of my own body to make this journey. I will start at my home in Washington, D.C., and walk through Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia. The walk will take 2 months to complete, and I'll be joined by dancers, scientists, and documenters. Along the way, we will engage communities through workshops and public events, gathering some 500 stories over the 500-mile trek. I will be working from the stories and experiences gathered along the way to choreograph a work entitled How to Lose a Mountain, set to premiere in spring 2013. Your contributions will help us to travel this distance and will provide the essential support we need to reach communities through programming along the route. By making this walk possible, your support will allow us to bring this collection of stories to broader audiences through a tour under the National Performance Network. So whether you decide to make a contribution today, follow the story as it unfolds online, or put on your walking shoes and join us for a few miles, I thank you for all the ways you're supporting this project.